Okay, we're still focusing on different careers you could have if you really enjoy doing art. And as we've talked about before, one of those careers is being an architect. So today what we're going to do is we're going to design a bridge, which would be something that architects and engineers would work on together. So the first step of your project is we're going to determine what part of our paper is the sky and what part of our paper is the water. So all you have to do is take your paper, fold it in half long ways. So you get a long, skinny piece of paper, and then you're going to open it back up. Everything above your fold. So everything above the fold is going to be your sky. So you're going to paint that the colors that you want your sky to be, and everything below the fold is going to be your water. So you're going to paint everything below the fold the colors you want your water to be. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and sketch in our bridge so that we can erase it if we make mistakes. So you get this paper to help you out. It has 4 different options for bridges you could draw. Now obviously you could make up your own bridge, or you can combine different elements of these to create your own if you would like. But if you're uncomfortable with that, then just follow the steps across. So this is step 1. If you want to make this bridge, this would be step 1, step 2, step 3. This bridge, step 1, step 2, step 3. So you just have to follow one line across. I think I'm going to make this bridge right here. So I'm going to go over here, and the first step is just to make a horizontal line across my paper. Now I do not want that horizontal line to be where my fold is. So either want to go above the fold or slightly below the fold, but I don't want it to be exactly where the fold is because that won't look as nice. So I'm going to just take my ruler, make a horizontal line across my paper. Step 2 is to make these rectangles that cross over that line. So they go all the way from the bottom of the page over the line that I just drew. So this will be easy. I'm just going to take my ruler and trace around it to make my rectangles. All right, and then the next step is to put the curves on it. So to make that easier for me, I'm just going to kind of figure out where it's halfway between here and here and put a little mark. That way when I'm making my curves, they'll be a little bit more even. Now if they don't come out perfectly even and they're a little bit off, it's not a big deal. You don't need to start over. Probably no one will notice. It does not have to be perfect. All right, so there are my curves for my bridge. And then the last step is just to make some lines that go all the way from the curves down to that first line that we drew. So I'm just going to use my ruler to put in some vertical lines that connect the top of my bridge to the base of my bridge. And when we paint, we're going to paint our sky and our water, and we're going to go right over top of our pencil lines, but we'll still be able to see them. And then after we've got the sky and the ground done, then we'll go in with black paint and go over top of our bridge. All right, so my advice to you is to do your sky in warm colors and your water in cool colors. So warm colors would be yellow, orange, and red. Cool colors would be purple, green, and blue. You could paint it a solid color, or you could add texture to it. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of texture to mine. So I'm just going to go through. Again, just paint right over top of your bridge. Don't use a ton of water because we are going to be putting the black paint over top of this, and you want it to be able to dry. Make sure you rinse your brush out between colors. Go all the way to the edges. It's okay if you get a little bit of paint on the table. It's not the end of the world. Just trying to fill in all the white space. So there's my water finished, and then I think I'm just gonna do the sky solid without the texture. So I think I'm just gonna do my sky blue and just do it one solid color instead of putting all of the different colors in it like I did the water. So it's going to paint in horizontal lines. That just means sideways, back and forth. Alright, and then I have my sky done. I could still see my pencil lines where I sketched in my bridge. So I'm going to get a smaller brush that has a point now, and I'm going to use some black paint like this. I'm just going to very carefully go over all of my pencil lines that I made. Try to keep your brush up on its tip as you're painting, so you could support your hand with your wrist on the table. I would start at the top of your paper and work towards the bottom. That way you don't accidentally get your arm in paint. And again, it's okay if it's not perfect. The goal is not to make it perfect. Do the best that you can. If it doesn't look perfect, it probably looks better. And if you really don't like it, you could always throw it away. It doesn't have to, you don't have to show it to anybody. Just do the best that you can. And don't stress about it. So I'm trying to keep my brush up on the very tip because that helps me get thinner lines. If my paint is dragging like that, I could get a little more water on my brush and that will help me paint a little more smoothly. See, my lines are smoother now. So now I'm just going to thicken up this baseline of the bridge. You want that a little thicker because that's where everybody walks and the cars go. And obviously you don't want your bridge to collapse. So I'm just making that a little thicker so it looks a little more sturdy. And then I'm going to fill in these rectangles right here. And then voila, your bridge is done. That's all you have to do.